Urban Suite with Dr. Lisa LaCon. Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community. Let's talk about mental health. Let's talk about sex.
Hello. Welcome to the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon. Welcome. Listen, guess what this month is? We are in the 5th month of the year. And do you all know what May is? Mental Health Awareness Month. We are in month number 5 of this year, Mental Health Awareness Month. And let me tell you, I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how many people you are surrounded with. If you don't have your mental health intact, it's a very, very challenging thing to deal with. So listen, my urbanites, tonight we are going to discuss how to capture those moments that when you're in the moment, you may not think it's going to be a fond memory and you don't want that moment to end. Have you ever experienced that? I know oftentimes when I go places and I'm with family and I'm surrounded by friends and I'm surrounded by family members and I don't want the moment to end, but of course it must. But how do we capture those moments? How do we capture that thing that's happening at that point in time? So 5 years from now, 20 years from now, when we look different, when we have evolved, when some of our loved ones have transitioned and are no longer physically here, how do we capture those moments? Because the truth of the matter is, our memories can really throw us over the cliff, or it can be a lifeline for us. So tonight we're going to look at cherishing the moments and having these lifelines in our life for this month of mental health awareness. So I need you to I need you to share, and guess what? We're at 18,400 subscribers on YouTube. Yay! This bell sounds a little funky. All right, this bell's getting stuck. All right, now, yes, 18,400 subscribers on YouTube, so keep it up. I need you all to I need you to share. I need you to tell people about Urban Tools for Change Network. The name says it all. Urban Tools, 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 Urban Tools for Change Network. So you can find me on Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and Amazon. I need you to listen. I need you to I need you to share. And guess what? We'll be right back after a word from the missing person. And well, we're not doing a word from our sponsor, BMI, tonight, but I just want to say BMI does sponsor Urban Tools for Change, the premier workforce development agency in the state of New Jersey. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. All right, so tonight we have sad news to report. Sad news to report. I reported this gentleman last week, and in my report, I said that he made a phone call to his mother and it was very distressing. And I said, that does not sound good. Sad news to report. It says a body that was recovered by police from the Calumet River on Chicago's far south side Wednesday has been identified as a missing 24-year-old man from South Chicago. According to family, the man has been identified as Javon J.B. Nelson. So I told you all, anytime there's sad news, that means that they have found the remains of the body. And he was missing from Chicago around 7:50, April the 6th, in the 9100 block of South DuSable Lake Shore Drive. Nelson had vanished shortly after making a frantic phone call to his mother. And now his mother no longer has her son physically with her. So my prayers go out to Mr. Nelson's family, friends, his entire tribe. So that's the sad news. Now, who do we have missing? We have missing from Arlington, Virginia, since April 27th, 2024. Naomi Valentine. Listen, Arlington, Virginia. That's that DMV area, District of Columbia, Maryland, and Virginia, Northern Virginia, Arlington, Virginia. Naomi Valentine. She's been missing since April 27th, 2024. She's 13 years old. 13. Look at her face. And that man talking about who cares. I can't believe. That's why I asked him, who unloved you as a child? Because for someone to say that they don't care about missing children, you are evil and you are possessed by Satan himself. All right, so she's a female. Her race is black. Her complexion is medium. Her height is 5'5". She's 115 pounds. Her hair color is black. Her hair length is shoulder, and her eye color is brown. Listen, for my audio podcast, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, I need you to listen to this, okay? Because you can't see her face. However, if you go to Urban Tunes for Change Network on YouTube, you will be able to see her face. Naomi was last seen in the 1700 block of North Vitch Street in Arlington County, Virginia. Listen to the circumstances surrounding her disappearance. Authorities say she was seen with an unknown person in a dark-colored sedan. Let me repeat that. Authorities say she was seen with an unknown person in a dark-colored sedan. Anyone with information, please contact Arlington Police Department at 571, that's area code 571-217-1849. I'm going to repeat that. Area code 571-217-1849, or you can get in contact with the Black and Missing Foundation Incorporated, and their telephone number is 877-97-BAMFI, which translates into 22634. I'm going to repeat that number again, 877-97-BAMFI, which is 22634. Listen, let's bring Naomi home. We do not want another sad news. I can't bear those sad news, you guys. I just can't. This is the hardest part of doing this show, when it's sad news. And I do the missing person because I don't know how many other people on their YouTube platforms or, podcasts are doing missing person, but I know I have been called to do the missing persons. And I know you all, my urbanites, have been called to share. And I know that you are sharing them because I see your comments and I can tell that you're sharing. Don't stop. Like I tell people, sharing is free. There's no cost to sharing. All right. So let's get into it. All right. So we're talking about, I can take off my glasses. No, maybe not. We're talking about cherished moments. I'm going to read something to you because I cannot play the music because we would get hit. Right, Mr. Producer? Mr.
Big, so which one is it? Which one is it?
No, I'm going to start off by saying this. Listen to this. What song is this? I stumbled on this photograph. It kind of made me laugh. It took me way back down memory lane.
Oh, yeah.
I see the happiness. Yeah. I see the pain. Where am I? So we all know that song.
Memory Lane. That's the one, right?
Yes, Back Down Memory Lane, sung by my soror, Minnie Riperton. May she rest in peace.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Minnie Riperton is a Zeta, right?
That is correct, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I love Minnie Riperton.
Oh, yeah, she was one of the greats. She's a legend.
She is, I'm telling you, and this song, she had a couple of people. She wrote this song with a couple of people. I think it was 2 or 3 other people that wrote this song. But this song talks exactly about what we're talking about tonight. Because as I said in my introduction, our memories can either throw us over the edge or our memories can be a lifeline. And because it's Mental Health Awareness Month, we can intentionally focus on those cherished, wonderful memories that can assist us. And that's why having a testimony is so important, because you're going back, you're recalling something that happened to you, how you triumphed over it. And then oftentimes, just like this song, you stumble on a photograph. What are some of the things that you do, whereas you cherish the moment? Like for me, it is a photograph. Oftentimes, sometimes it's a song that triggers those memories. It can be a scent. It can be a color. It can be a place. It can be a food. It can be anything that triggers a memory of something that you did with someone that's special, someone that, fills your heart. That's why I love this song. I stumbled on this photograph. It kind of made me laugh. It took me way back down memory lane. And sometimes that's what happens. We kind of do have a little laugh, especially if it's a cherished moment. And then she says, I see the happiness. I see the pain. Where am I? I am back down memory lane. And oftentimes, sometimes our memories that we have, sometimes we can't move because we're stuck with the movie scene that's playing in our head over and over and over again. Now, whether that movie scene is bad, good, or indifferent, we're talking about the good movie scene, having dinner with your loved ones, visiting someone that you love. Don't take life for granted. Because I know for me, it's sort of like when I am in something, I want to bottle up that time, bottle up that moment, and keep it forever. So I know for me, I don't do enough of taking pictures. I don't do enough. I know some people journal those moments. Some people, record it with a recorder, those moments. Some people, they, you take the movie, a video of those moments, and a photograph of those moments. And it's like, sometimes I do regret, which we're going to talk about next week. I do regret not taking enough photos or videos of those moments, capturing those cherished moments. And oftentimes when we get to a place where we feel down, where we feel like, oh my gosh, sometimes we need to go into the deep recesses of our mind with those cherished moments to give us a boost. I don't know. What about you, Curtis? What do you do?
Yeah, but I just wanted to comment on the photo aspect, because like in doing this little move too, and maybe you might have experienced this also, but sometimes you come across those old photo albums and you have like a box of pictures that you got to move now, and now you got to store them and stuff like that. And it seems like we used to do that a lot more before camera phones and stuff, like have photo albums and have like times where like we would just be looking at the pictures and stuff, like going through old photo albums, like when somebody would come over, or different times like, oh, let me show you these old pictures, and we would just go through photo albums and stuff like that.
Right. And you would sit down, take a moment and flip through it and just look and point.
Yeah. Those are good ways to pass on memories to other generations too, because then they get, that's when you saw all those pictures with your parents being young and stuff like that, and your older cousins and all of them being young, being little kids and stuff,
Yeah. Let me show you this picture. This is right here. I remember this day. That's me in the red dress. I don't know who or what we're looking at.
That does not look like you.
What? Yes, it does.
That
looks just like me.
I don't know. You look different.
I had a gap. I closed the gap myself.
Oh, well, maybe that's what it. No, I don't know.
That looks like me. Look.
Do the pose. You got to do the pose.
Oh, let me take off my glasses.
Yeah, take off your glasses. Maybe.
But that is me. That's my dad, my grandmother, and my sister. And we're here in Virginia, in Portsmouth, Virginia, in this picture. My grandmother made that dress that I'm wearing right there.
Oh.
My grandmother made my sister's dress. She probably made hers also. And then that's my dad. So that's why, I moved to Hampton to be closer to my parents. Because I would spend, my dad is from Portsmouth and my grandmother was here, but I would spend a lot of my time in Portsmouth, in this area, in the Hampton Roads area.
But see, that's what they say, like a picture says 1,000 words or whatever.
I remember this day. I remember taking that picture. I think it was at Sears or Olin Mills or something like that. But I remember that day. I remember that dress. I remember my sister wearing that dress. I remember my grandmother wearing that dress. And I remember my dad. I remember that day so vividly. And it was so interesting. This past weekend, my husband and I, we went to New York City because Hampton University had a Blue Gala event in Manhattan at the Pier 60. It was beautiful. And it's a fundraiser. It's an emergency student fundraiser sponsored by the National Hampton Alumni Association, NHAA. That's a mouthful. But we had a wonderful, wonderful time. So my roommate, my college roommate, she came, and she is an urbanite. She's always, on the show. Big shout out to Raquel. So we were sitting next to one another, and I said, oh my gosh, Raquel, when we first stepped foot on this campus, we were 17 or 18 years old. And now some of our classmates have grandchildren. Some of our classmates have transitioned. And it's just like, oh my God, you look around and it's like, oh my goodness, time goes so fast. Yes. And I wish I would have kept more pictures. I wish I would have taken more pictures.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing people did, but they aren't my pictures, So I'm just looking at other people's pictures of me, but I didn't really take pictures.
Well, right now, but see, on a good thing because of the digital thing is because now you have all these Facebook groups where you're in contact with all these people that you wouldn't been able to be in contact with so easily, and they could just send you a picture online and stuff like that.
Right.
You see a lot of stuff like that from years gone by from these Facebook groups and stuff like that. A lot of times.
And I think the wonderful thing now is because everything is cloud-based, that guess what? If your house is flooded or if there's a storm, a fire or whatever, your pictures are saved. Whereas in the book that we used to have, they can be permanently destroyed. But now with the phone and access to, the smartphone, you can put everything in a cloud. And that picture that I just showed you was from a picture that my dad had, and my husband took a picture of it and sent the picture to this company, and the company created that picture from the picture he took on the phone.
Oh, so that's not the original ones that y'all got printed
No.
up, Sears or whatever. Okay. Yeah, we used to go to Sears and get pictures too. Remember that? Like you dress up and go to Sears and get your family pictures. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sears. But now you can just do it in your house. Like you don't need
you don't need glamour shots. We have selfies now.
No, but also you can do your own glamour shots. You got ring lights and good angles and how to do it and everything like that anyway.
Right, yeah. So it's sort of like, sometimes I think we focus on the negative thoughts all the time and how to overcome those negative thoughts rather than focusing on the positive thoughts and maintaining the positive thoughts and allowing those positive thoughts to take center stage in your life, in your mind. Because the most powerful thing that you can do, especially as a Christian, is give your testimony. And giving your testimony is a memory about something positive that happened to you. How did God intervene? This is what happened to me. Having that memory, sharing that memory, and just saying, what, if it happened to me, it can happen to you. And I think oftentimes when it comes to memories, it's weird because certain songs can trigger a memory, certain colors, a book. Like there's a book that even thinking about it, I'm back in my mind as a little girl. That Christmas book, it was scratch and sniff. And you could sniff the pine tree.
Okay.
You remember that book?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And you go in there too, right? Memory lane, right?
Right.
And then the candy cane, you could scratch and sniff. And then they had the pie, the apple pie. You scratch and sniff the apple pie. Like, now, when I just described that, where did you go in your mind?
Yeah, not necessarily thinking about Christmas, but like that apple pie and those scratch and sniff book, because I haven't really seen one of those in a while. Like one of those books we used to get those, and yes, during Christmas time too, they'd have the candy cane there and pine trees and stuff like that. So yeah, it takes you back to, when you're young. But do you think that people can remember back to like when they're like how old do you think you can remember back to?
I remember my granddad pushing me in a stroller up Rittenhouse Street in DC. I remember that vividly. I remember the stroller. I remember what the stroller looked like because there's even a picture. Where's that picture? Oh, the picture's in Jersey. I have to bring that down. I remember what the stroller looked like. And I remember my granddad pushing me in a stroller. That is the earliest memory I have. Right. I remember he was pushing me up the street in a stroller.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could, because there's always certain like little flashes. Because then on the other hand, some people don't remember anything. Don't remember anything about their past stuff.
I remember the sound of my granddad's shoes because he used to have what do you call those things on the taps?
Okay.
On the heel and the toe.
Yeah, because it would protect them from wearing out.
Right. He used to wear them. And I remember the sound they used to make on the concrete. I used to love the sound of hearing that.
Well, one thing I would suggest is maybe uploading all those old pictures though and digitizing your whole
Yes.
old pictures and stuff like that. Because just like if something happens, I know during Hurricane Sandy, like our basement had flooded. And
Oh, right.
I lost a lot of,
Oh,
different materials and stuff like that. And that was the first time I really realized, like, oh man, like that was like a one of a kind thing that you
yes.
never get back. So,
You'll never get that back.
maybe we should have got Legacy Box to sponsor this episode, because that's what they, they take all your old videos and stuff like that and put them on to digital formats. So even with your pictures and stuff, you might as well just like what Sean did, take pictures of them on your phone, even put them into the cloud and stuff.
Yeah.
So that would be one suggestion of people, even going down and having some of those memories by doing that. Go through some of your pictures every week and just start taking pictures of your old pictures so you'll have them for the future.
Right. You're right. Yes, Sandy. Yeah. And then other natural disasters happen, whatever it may be. You can never get those pictures back, never. Even if you journal it, you can't get it back if it's paper. But again, journaling, you can do it on your phone and put it in the cloud. That's one thing about the cloud, and you can record in the cloud.
Right.
So if you have a moment, this magical moment that you want to remember, you can record it. One magical moment was when my best friend and I, when we drove cross country. I loved it. And I'm so glad she took videos and we took pictures, because I look at those pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, we had so much fun. That was fantastic. Like, oh my gosh. And sometimes I have to say, urbanites, when you are feeling a little down or depressed, sometimes you may have to go to that space, that space, wherever it is. Like, say, for instance, to pick up that photograph and look at it and be like, oh my gosh, to bring a smile to your face, to bring a smile to your heart, or to listen to something that you recorded, or to read something that you wrote. I am not a journaler. Do you journal?
No, I do more recording though, obviously. So I mean, I mean that I was going to say something about how, it is important to tell that story too, because I don't know if you ever saw Hamilton. Did you ever see that play?
Hamilton. Yes, I saw it.
The rap.
Yes, I saw it on the Disney.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, one message from that, and from Lin-Manuel Miranda's thing, was that he said, "Who tells your story?" You say, like, who's going to tell the story the proper way? That's when you say that doing the testimonies and stuff is important too, in keeping those memories alive, because who's going to tell that story but the person that was there? Like, you're going to be the best one to tell that story,
right.
How it affected you, and then pass it on to somebody else, and then they can like relive it a little bit, but you have to tell it the proper way the first time,
right?
For them to get that information, and that's important to pass on those stories,
And some people, like, say for instance, when I go to concerts, you have some people that videotape the concert, and people are like, well, why are they videotaping the concert? Because you don't get the experience. Maybe they want to capture that moment.
Right.
Maybe they want to capture that moment because maybe they, you never know. Maybe they're ill. I don't know, but maybe they want to just capture the moment, just to go back 5 years from now and say, oh my gosh, I wish I would have videotaped a concert with Prince.
Right. Because you were there and something. But see, that it is a double-edged sword, because you do understand what people mean when they say, like, you're not here in the moment. You're too busy trying to capture the moment, and keep it for later, and you're not involved right now, right? But like, as like a videographer from back in the day and stuff like that, I would be at like concerts and stuff like that, and my whole thing was just making sure I saw it through the little small square, not looking at it really mostly like from the big viewpoint and everybody just really into it. I'm looking at it from a little bit different perspective, but you're still there though, and it's just a different perspective.
Right, you're still there. I mean, what? You're not on the stage one way or the other. Like, I mean, it's not like I don't know. Like my sons took me to see Billy Joel. I had a fantastic time during Thanksgiving. And I don't know if we didn't I don't think we took pictures or anything. And I wish we would have taken pictures because I think he's done with his residency at Madison Square Garden. But it was beautiful. My sons, they treated me for my birthday, and we hopped on the train to Manhattan, Madison Square Garden, and saw Billy Joel, because that's always been my thing. Like, I want to see Billy Joel in concert. I want to see Billy Joel. And it was fantastic. It was such a wonderful thing. It really was. It really was.
Yeah. But, I mean, you don't have any pictures, any proof. You don't have any proof you're actually there.
I know. No pictures, no proof, no videos, no nothing. I wish I would. I'm like, darn it, why didn't I take it?
Do you keep memorabilia from concerts and stuff, like, like the ticket stubs or any of like the little bags and merch that came with the concert and stuff, like the little flyer, the little brochure thing that comes with it and stuff?
Well, for Broadway plays, I keep the playbills. For concerts, I usually get t-shirts. Like, I love the t-shirts. Okay. I usually get the t-shirts. I wear the t-shirts, some bags. But other than that, that's it.
But because you know what? That's actually
very practical.
That's a practical way to do it too, because that's what people do too. Like when they go to places, they always like to get shirts so that it reminds them of where they were and that going there and stuff like that. That I think people do that a lot more.
Oh yeah, like this shirt. This is from a comedian that we went to see, Quincy Carr. Very funny, clean comedian. Very funny here in the Hampton Roads area. So I was like, let me pick up a shirt. My mother loves magnets.
Ooh, wow, that's old school.
Oh, be quiet.
Come on now, magnets, like that's like refrigerator like.
Yes, she has all these magnets on her refrigerator. Every time we go someplace, we get a magnet.
Wow. Well, my cousin used to like to send postcards.
Oh, they don't do postcards. Remember postcards back in the day?
Every time she would go somewhere, she would send us a postcard from that place and have a story about what happened when she went.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And so then you have like a bunch of postcards from everywhere. But again, it's like I feel for that old school material, man, because people don't want physical stuff necessarily like that anymore. They want stuff that's digital. They don't want to carry around a bunch of, like, it's now I got that in storage.
Really?
I got it in, like, you know how many boxes of pictures I have in storage, man? Like, you know how many, like, I still got old videotapes that I have to digitize still, like of old concerts and all footage and stuff. But that's like taking up a whole side of a storage unit.
Well, yeah, I mean, it must be done. It must be done for sure. But yeah, these are, moments. And, when I first went to Hampton as a freshman, I never realized that it would be a very powerful memory. You understand what I mean?
I mean, you were going to Hampton. What do you mean? No, what do you mean?
I didn't realize that after I left and after I matriculated through life, that those 4 years would be so memorable.
Yeah, well,
like I didn't realize it when I was in it. I was just living day to day. So I wasn't thinking like, oh, when I'm 20 or 30, I wonder how this, I wasn't thinking that. But looking back at it now, I'm like, oh my gosh.
You made a lot of different turns, specific turns at that point in your life. You chose specific paths at that time. You know what I mean? Like that was a pivotal moment.
Yeah, so it was.
Every day. It wasn't just like, no, every day. That was important. You learned, how much did you learn at that time compared to how much you learn on a regular basis now? You know what I mean? Like the intensity at which you studied and took in new information and stuff like that and tried to find. You don't have to do that too much anymore like that. Thank God.
And you don't have to kind of navigate between two worlds of being a young adult, an adolescent versus a young adult. Because when you're going, I know for me, I was 17 when I entered.
Right.
So I was still young. I was still under my mom. And then 18, 19, 20, 21, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I'm transitioning from a child to a
Into an
young
adult.
adult.
Yeah.
And so much happens within that. Yourself discovering about, of yourself and the world around you and what you prefer and what you don't, and where you want to live. The whole world is yours. I tell these young students that are graduating, you don't have to stay in America. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't have to stay in America.
But it's also like the fact that you were making your own choices too. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're like a lot of decisions were up to you. Just like whatever kids don't make sure they don't have their full credit so that they can walk into graduation and stuff. It's like you making your own choices a lot more.
Yes, that's that adulting.
Yeah,
that you're not yet prepared for. That's adulting. That you have to make certain. You have to be responsible for making certain that you're talking with your advisors for doing. And that's the thing, because when you're in high school, is we're kind of coddled in a sense.
Yeah, everything's done for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, not here, man. I mean, I had to run around and do things.
You don't want to make sure you're going to be there? That's up to you.
Right. Yeah, right. Right. But yeah, so those little items like magnets, like my mom, t-shirts,
shirts,
caps, hats, Buy
the merch.
Yeah, merch. Absolutely. Those merch can trigger a lot of memories,
Yeah.
What else triggers memories?
Well, it's like certain places are going to have that memory. Like, so every time you pass by a certain neighborhood, you're going to remember this, that, even though the neighborhood might be totally different now.
Yes.
Like certain places or places that you go, you'll remember when the first time you went there, or the first time you saw this, or who you were with when something important happened there,
Yes. Like I remember the first time I heard Back Down Memory Lane. I remember where I was when I heard that.
Really?
I was in the car with my mom. She had a little blue Pinto, and we were driving up Georgia Avenue coming from, I can't remember where we were coming from, but we were driving up Georgia Avenue, and they said, "This is the new song by Minnie Riperton, Back Down Memory Lane." And I think she had died, or she was sick or something, because that was her last album.
Oh, okay.
And when she recorded that album, she was very sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she died of breast cancer. But she did what she had to do, and she gave us, this song. But yeah, so listen to the words again. All right. So Back Down Memory Lane, I see us standing there, such a happy, happy pair. Love beyond compare. Look at there. The way you held me, no one could tell me that love would die. Oh, why did I have to find this photograph? Now, don't you feel like that sometimes? Why do I have to run across this picture?
Right.
It's like, oh my gosh, what happened to me was, I remember when my grandmother died, my mom's mom died. For the longest time, I did not cry. I did not cry at all until I stumbled on her photograph holding our oldest son, who was a baby. And then I just lost it. Like, oh my gosh, everything just like, wow. Yeah.
Well, I mean, on a similar note, but a much lighter note, like I've been able to, like, I've been lucky enough to capture like some really great moments, like where even like I have people before they died, like Big Pun and DMX. Like I have like that a real important conversation in hip hop that happened, right. And I recorded it that day. You know what I mean?
You did?
Yeah, like I recorded the whole thing. So that's one of those moments that people look back on, like even now, all younger people and stuff, they come back to find that on the internet. And they're like, wow, look at this. You know what I mean? Like, they could actually relive that moment because it was all videotaped.
Yeah.
You know? And these people are gone now. You know what I mean? Like,
no. And when you were sitting across from them, you really did not expect their life to end so prematurely, did you?
Right. Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah. And you're like, oh my God, you're like taken aback. And then she says later on in the song, I thought I had forgot the past. Now I'm slipping fast. Oh, back down memory lane. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
You thought you had forgotten it, that it was buried, but it really, it was buried, but what triggered it was that picture, that memory.
I know this might be. Have you ever seen that animated movie Coco? I think it was called Coco and the Five Strings or something like that. Because that was a lot about remembering people from the past, and like when the people stop remembering you after you're dead, that's when that's your second death, and that's your final death. When people stop remembering you. That's why like they have that tradition where they keep everybody's picture up, and you have to keep their picture up and stuff like that. It was a whole story. It was on Coco that people watched that animated thing.
Oh, that sounds kind of beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's real deep.
Yeah, it is. I thought I had forgot the past. Now I'm slipping fast. Oh, back down memory lane. I feel the happiness. I feel the pain. Isn't that something how you can feel something through this inanimate object? You can feel something through a picture. You can feel something through a recording. You can feel something. The mind and the brain, it's just amazing. It really is. Here I am, back down memory lane. I'm in the sunshine. I'm in the rain. I thought it was over. Here I go again. Isn't that?
Memories are powerful, and in helping you feel a certain way about being alive and stuff like that. But I know we keep avoiding the topic, but sometimes people do end up losing those memories because of ailments, like Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that.
Right.
Like, that's what happened to my mother. Like she didn't, like the last 2 years of her life, she didn't really know who I was. Like sometimes she would think I was her brother, but she didn't have a brother. She would call me brothers. So she didn't fully know who I was. She just would get feelings of whether I wanted to help her or not, type of stuff,
Right. And how did that make you feel that she didn't remember you?
At the time, I didn't really I didn't really feel bad about it in a sense, because I just felt like I was helping her. You know what I mean? Like I just kind of sort of ignored it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like I just, that's where she was, in her stage of life where she had Alzheimer's and dementia and stuff like that. So I just, I remember all the good stuff too, obviously. So she couldn't anymore, So I just was, trying to help her. So that's who she was at that time. She was just the person that couldn't really remember who I was. But I remembered all the stuff that she had done for me.
Right. Right.
So that was the more important thing to me. Was just being there for her. So
yeah, that's a tough one. So yeah, she says, here I go again. The way you helped me, no one could tell me that love would die. So apparently they no longer are together.
Right.
I don't want to go, travel up and down, faster than the speed of sound, back down memory lane. These are some these words are great. You still my foolish heart. Don't let this feeling start. Back down memory lane. I don't want to go, back down memory lane. Save me, save me. Back down memory lane. Save me, save me. Save me, save me, save me. Save me. Back down memory lane. And that's
yeah. Well, they don't always write music like that, but I do have hope with artists like Willow Smith and stuff like that, because she writes more deeper type of music too. But a lot of these people out here just making twerk music. You know what I'm saying? They're not writing anything.
Well, let me tell you. All right. So speaking of cherished memories and stuff. So remember, and I didn't get a chance because I was so busy. And my urban nights, I am so busy. I get busy when I write proposals. So I'm writing proposals now. So for my brain, if I'm at a loss of words, it's because I've been writing all day, looking at the computer, and it's just like, and then I have one more to get through next week. and then I'll have a little clearer mind. But remember, we talked about Chris Brown and Quavo.
Yeah. Yeah. Mhm.
So a new beef came out between Kendrick Lamar and Drake.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Gracious
Heating it up.
golly alive.
Yeah.
And you know what? And this will be a memory.
Right. For a lot of people too. Yeah.
For a lot of people, this will be a memory. This would definitely be a memory for Drake, because a memory that he would like to forget.
Yeah.
Because
but you know what? A lot of people are saying too, J. Cole was smart for getting out of this. Like when he did.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't know. Kendrick Lamar, let me tell you.
He went through for the throat, the jugular vein,
my goodness gracious alive.
groin.
Oh my gosh.
Everything.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe. So you're talking about good writing.
Mm-hmm.
That is good writing.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, the average song that's like maybe like playing 24/7 on the radio or playing on repeat, like on people's just like radio driving down the street, it don't necessarily be anything deep or anything meaningful or something that makes you think, like that Minnie Riperton song. It's not necessarily stuff like that. It's just stuff that can make people dance at that minute, and just make them shake around.
Well, that's why I really enjoy listening to the HBCU station on satellite.
Right, college radio is good.
I love it because I get
radio that's good.
Yeah, I get to hear new artists.
Yeah.
I'm like, who, what? I have to
different
Shazam.
Genres. Yeah, different genres, different. It's not the same 20 songs.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Not the same 20 songs over and over again that they play on mainstream. Mainstream media. It's like, oh my gosh, here we go. Didn't I just hear this song? Didn't I just hear this song on the other station?
See, but they're messing with your memories though. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're messing with your brain patterns because they're embedding those songs into your mind. Because like that repetition, breeds familiarity.
Right,
so,
right.
So if they can play it 20 times, then you're gonna remember it regardless of what.
Right. They're force feeding us.
They're force feeding you.
They're force feeding us.
Memories.
And then, and then guess what we're going to do? We're going to probably play it on Shazam, not Shazam, Spotify or something like, like, oh, do I really like this song? Like there's some songs that I know the words to, but I can't stand them. Can't stand the song.
Right. Well, and I guess initially they got that idea from like marketing and commercials and stuff.
Oh yeah.
With jingles and stuff. All those jingles that we know, like from growing up and stuff like that. All them jingles that they say,
That's another memory for me. And sometimes I'm going to be honest, my urbanites, y'all know how I am when I get emotional, think about my family. Those jingles that I grew up with, immediately I think about the family members that were living then during that. So when I hear facts of life, you take the good, you take the bad, you take the both, and then you got the facts of life. The facts of life. I think about my granddad, everybody was living.
Yeah. But that's good, right?
Strokes, we take different strokes.
That's good, right?
It's bittersweet. Bittersweet.
Yeah, I mean, because just like with the song, though, she was saying that with the tears and the, with the pain and the, the joy. So you got to take the good with the bad. So is there anything else that you think that could help people cherish those moments and really?
Let's see.
Wrap it up.
Books, merch, journaling, recording, photos, video. What else?
And then testimonies.
Testimonies, absolutely. What else? I think that's all I can think of. I'm sure people so perfume, a cologne.
Mm. Oh yes, yeah, I guess that would. But see, I remember you got on me when remember that other show we did. We talked about when,
Oh yeah. Oh.
and you can feel something when you smell something. See, that's what you talking about. That that's what you talking about. But certain people's cologne, you remember them by that. Like when you smell that cologne, you think of the person. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Or wherever your father, cologne or aftershave, whatever that you have, your mother, like whatever her scent was.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess those pheromones or whatever, like those, I guess it makes, I don't know what that is, but that scent of that person that reminds you, like, of that person.
Right. The smell of food.
Yeah.
Like if I smell homemade biscuits, I'm going to immediately think of my grandmother.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If I smell, that soul food smell, I'm going to immediately go to Washington, D.C. in my mind, like immediately.
I guess that's what part of why Thanksgiving has that impact too, because when all those smells and family and stuff like that is around and stuff like that. So like that's part of it is the smells and stuff.
Yes, the smells. Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, those are those cherished moments, when you're doing something and you're having a wonderful time and you're with great people, and it's like, gosh, I don't want this night to end. I don't want this vacation to end. I don't want this time to end. I want it to just last forever, ever, ever. I want it to be timeless in my mind, timeless physically right here and now, even though that's not going to happen because we have to move on, but just capturing and holding on and hugging to that memory and that moment.
Right before we go, let's just play the thing just so that they can, just to wrap everything up.
Okay.
11 If, Then Algorithms for Self-Care by Ben Meir. Tip number 3. If you experience a beautiful life moment, then write it down. Best tacos ever. Presentation you crushed. Bonfire with friends. Save the memory, and one day, the memory might save you.
I love what she said. Save the memory because the memory might save you. And that's what we are talking about. Saving the memory because the memory may save you. Now, what does that mean? That means if you're feeling down, depressed, and you feel like, oh my gosh, sometimes it's the memory, that wonderful memory, the only thing that you can hold on to, that intangible force, that memory, that wonderful feel-good memory to say, you know what, it's going to get better because I saw what happened before. I saw what can happen now. I said, just whatever it is going through your mind that may be negative, that you may be experiencing, sometimes you have to hold on to those moments because it can save your life. Absolutely. Absolutely. So can you think of any more?
I think we covered them because, and just to maybe get people more aware of just journaling and stuff like that is important too. Writing stuff down, because that helps you with like vision boards and all that type of stuff, where you're writing things down and you're saving memories, but you're also maybe projecting towards the future too of what you want to do and stuff like that. Writing down your goals and stuff like that. So writing stuff down does help as well.
Right. Yeah, I believe that. I know some people are opposed to vision boards. They don't do vision boards. It depends.
Just like the same thing as writing goals. Like you don't have to say a vision board or whatever. Just like write your goals so like it's more firmly in your mind. It's more achievable because you wrote it.
Right.
When you're just always thinking about it, it's not fully manifested in any kind of way. But once you write it on the paper, it starts to become for real. It starts to become reality.
And once you start to read it and say it out loud, oftentimes that is true. That is true. You start to, as you say, manifest what you have written down because you have presented it and out there. And I think that can increase your faith, your level of faith when you are proclaiming these things. But yeah, memories is fantastic. It really is. It's wow. Yeah. So what's your first memory, like
Oof.
like the earliest back you can remember?
Oof. That's hard to say, because I just have more like flashes type stuff, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of remember the and I had to be really young when this happened, because my younger brother was only like 2 years younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember when he got adopted. Like, I remember, so we were both like toddlers or whatever, because I remember Frank Street, where we used to live in Franklin,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember a fish tank there. I remember a big
Mm-hmm.
fish tank, a big aquarium there, and stuff like that. That was when we were like real tiny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's amazing. All right, my urbanites. So hopefully, you start to intentionally exercise and be mindful. Be mindful that those wonderful memories can be there. Although I know sometimes we're dealing with a lot of trauma, and sometimes the trauma can look as if it is precedence over the movie scene in our mind, but what you focus on will grow. So if you're going to focus on the negativity and you're going to focus on the trauma, that's what's going to grow. However, if you focus on the good, what someone did to make you smile, how someone made you feel, what was happening, something good, if you focus on that, you keep focused on that, that's what's going to grow. It's going to change your overall disposition. It's going to change your overall mood. It's going to change your overall physical countenance. It's going to change. I'm telling you, it's going to change. And it can also change your immune system when you're pondering on those positive thoughts, those memories, It can make you feel good. Just like she said, she felt the pain, she felt the happiness. It can make you feel a certain way. Your body posture will change. Like when I was thinking about something, I was like, I had a little smile to my face. Like that, I'm telling you, it makes a difference. It makes a difference also in terms of your blood pressure. It can reduce your stress level. So these are practical things that you can do to assist in alleviating sickness, illness, high blood pressure, all of those things. Focus on the positive things that you did as a child, growing up, whenever,
And just preempt them for next week's show as well, because that
Oh,
goes right.
yes. No regrets. Listen, where's my bell? That's one thing that I try to avoid in my life, and that is having regrets. I try my best, and I say to myself, and I'm going to talk about this much deeper next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. All right. I'm going to talk about have no regrets. And I remember, I think it was last year, I said I need to visit my uncle in the hospital, because if I don't visit him, I'm going to regret it. And I'm glad I went to visit him, because 2 months later, he died. Had I not gone, had I not taken time out of my schedule, had I not taken time out of my busy schedule, seriously, I would have regretted it. It's sort of like, remember we did the story on Dr. Candia Bailey, Bonnie,
Mm-hmm.
She committed suicide. She unalived herself.
Yes.
And her friend said she wished she would have read the email.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't want one of those. I don't want that moment.
Yeah, she said, I wish I would have read the email earlier, then I would have called her.
Yes, or even gone over there. I'm telling you, her friend, that is going to, that is going to tear her up for a long time if she does not forgive herself. She has to forgive herself because that's the hard one.
Yeah, because we'll talk about that next week too, when we talk about like you made the best choices that you could at the time. So you have to forgive yourself and be at peace with the decisions that you made. So so getting rid of some of those regrets, we'll talk about that too.
Right. So that's right. So my urbanites, I'm glad you came into the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon. I have to do my signature. Guess what? I think we have been, is it 2 years or 3 years we've been on the air?
3
years. Oh my gosh. 3 years, 18,400 subscribers on YouTube. 3 years. And I need more of you all, urbanites. I need you all to like. I need you to share. Get the word out. If you enjoy it, let me know. Write a comment. Do something. Say thank you, Lisa, for the show. Because sometimes I need to be encouraged myself. I don't know sometimes who's looking. I see the numbers, but I don't know who's out there. So give people their flowers while they are here, meaning give them an encouraging word. Say, good job. I like the show. Keep up the good work. I thank you for the phone calls that I get. I thank you for the text messages. I thank you for the comments. And what we're going to do is bring up some of the comments so you all can see. Oh, Raquel said, thank you. Thank you, Raquel. Oh, let's see. Let's put this up. Thank you, Raquel. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Didn't we have a wonderful time Saturday? Wasn't that great? It was fantastic. Magnificent job. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Leslie. Oh, thank you. They be giving me my flowers. Thank you. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So yeah, I'm telling you, let me tell you. It's a lot to come on here every week. Sometimes I don't want to. Sometimes I'm so busy. What's this? Another great memory. Yes, it was another great memory. Yes, yes, yes. You know what, my urbanites, you know what? Raquel, I'm experiencing hot flashes. Oh my God. It's that time, ladies. This is a memory. In 5 years, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm getting these hot flashes, my urbanites. Y'all know what time that is. Oh Lord. I'm like, what happened?
You remember how you were 17 years old at Hampton.
You say?
I said you were just remembering how you were 17 years old at Hampton.
Right, and now I'm having hot flashes.
That's a couple years later. That's a couple years after that.
So we'll be back next week, God willing, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the Urban Suite, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. And I think on that, this is where you laugh, learn, cry, and grow in the Urban Suite with me, Dr. Lisa LaCon. Until next time, Molly, take us away.